Ed Fizer, F-I-Z-E-R. I now live in Mesquite, Nevada. I was in Vietnam in 1963, 1965, and 70. Big difference between the 60s and the 70s. 70s we were pulling out. I was in Special Forces, which is the Green Berets, for about 12 years, I guess.
Do you have anyone here that you were visiting in particular? Any stories?
James Cherry. Jim and I were good friends. We were stationed at Ankh together, which is in the Two-Corps mountain area. We worked with the mountain yards. We had 3 companies of mountain yards. And I don't know whether anybody's ever mentioned mountain yards to you before. They have? Okay. In 1963, we went into the villages in the highlands and recruited these little guys, and they had to come with their relatives. So we recruited one person. We often got 5 or 6 because they wouldn't leave until they could bring their and protect their family. So we had a rather large camp. We had three companies of, or 2 companies. 2 companies, I think. And Cherry and I went to, it was a Mike Force type thing. We went to recover people and extract people. And Cherry didn't make it back. He was found 2 days later, and he was, he had been shot and fallen into a river, so he was really green when we brought him back. And I sat over him laying on the deck of a helicopter bringing him back in, and that's hard to deal with. I mean, I have learned to deal with it, and I've learned to walk out of the jungle, but it took a hell of a long time. I'm 72 years old, and it leaves such an indentation on your life, a mark on your life that is just absolutely unbelievable. And I have a really great friend from World War II that he doesn't talk to anyone, but he does talk to me because he has a little bit of association. He was in the water in the Pacific.
What's his name?
John Cornell. John is 91 years old, and he's just a prince of a guy. If I could, he's one of those guys that, you know, if I could live the life that I think my dog thinks I live, John lives that life. But he screams almost every night because of the horror of one time the ship was torpedoed, and another he got rescued, and that ship was kamikaze. And he finally got on a ship that rescued him and got him out of there. And then he went back to Korea. So he's a 2-war vet. He's a patriotic guy from the same state I am. We didn't know each other at all, but we played cards all the time together, and it's really rewarding and fun for me to be associated with those guys, because I just believe that hadn't been for those guys in World War II, we'd be speaking Japanese or German today. I think that's a fact of life. You know, I try to organize events to recognize World War II and Korean War vets, and especially the Korean War vets, because World War II guys came home to ticker tape parades and all that, but the Korean War guys came home much like we came home. And I know how it feels. And they're just the forgotten ones. We made such a fuss and demanded to be recognized, and they just sort of fell into the woodworks. But I haven't forgotten them. And that's pretty much my story. And I'm sticking to it.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.